Hey everybody! So today I am going to be painting a fun sugar skull for us. Colors I'm going to be using of course always white and black. We've got seafoam, bright yellow, pumpkin, fuchsia, opaque red. We've got green and turquoise, and we've got lake and pansy. All right, so I'm gonna flip camera down so we can get started here. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just shade around the skull real quick. So I'm gonna grab some white here on my very overused plate. We'll just use the back of this so you guys can see. And I'm gonna grab some of my seafoam here. I'm using a number 8 angle brush. All right, so we're gonna get one side with the blue, one side with the white here, or seafoam. It's kind of blue-green. This is just kind of gonna give a shading around our skull. And I'm just doing the outer edge, okay? I'm gonna grab just a little bit of water just to make it a little more pliable for us. Hopefully my computer just didn't crash on me. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. It just moved something here. Okay. We've got the kiddos here, so it might get a little loud at a minute, but headed for a doctor's appointment, so this might be a 2-part thing, and I will come back and see you guys again, but trying to get as much as I can done here. Alrighty. Running around like I typically do with my head cut off, right? Alright, so I'm just bringing that up in, grabbing some more water here. Alright, smooth that. I like how I started that off there. There we go. And we're going to paint over a lot of this, but this just gives that where the white is at, it makes it a little bit easier so we don't have to go around everything, to just go ahead and shade this now. And it will already kind of give a shading to the color because it will make it just a little bit darker, which is kind of what we're wanting. Alrighty. Bring and kind of flow that edge up in, just like so. And there we go. Alright. Let's put this away since I obviously grabbed way too much, but it's all good. Okay. Okay, next color I'm going to be using is our bright yellow here. I'm going to go ahead and start with the eyes here. And get the center of our eyes with some yellow. I'll probably be working with the smaller brush along with the bigger brush for other areas. Right there. And then let me get these flowers up here. You can see a little bit of that shading popping through, which is kind of what we wanted. It's kind of running through, making it a little bit darker. edge. Got just a little bit of bead of paint there that I'm going to clean up. And then the rest of this I'm going to have to go with a smaller brush for. This is a number 2 angle. I'm going to grab the top part of our teeth here. So we're just doing a lot of arches around the teeth. Bottom part of our arch now. Let's get the top. Just kind of watching where my brush hits, making sure that I'm not going over, hitting my teeth here. We want those to stay pearly white. Another one, there we go. And right through here. A little more. So with this weekend, I headed with Lori and Cher Bear, out to do, go to Sims. They were pretty full, not as full as I liked, and it was kind of hit and miss on what they had and what they didn't have, so very interesting. I'm just going to double check my picture that I was kind of using just to make sure I'm getting this right here. Okay. Some yellow right here. And just like a butterfly, whatever's on one side will mimic on the other. These sugar skulls. Okay, going on this side. And then I've got right here where we'll do another part of yellow. Okay. So a lot of swirls and curls, a lot of arches with this design. You're arching your brush. So I would say this one's more advanced beginner, intermediate. And then I'm going to grab right here. I'm going to grab right up here. I'm going to get right here with some yellow. And we're going to call this good on the yellow. So we'll have to, yellow is one of those colors, always needs usually 2 coats. So come back through and hit everywhere with a second coat. grab these flowers here. There. Okay. Grab our eyes. Okay. Sorry if you're hearing a little bit of construction. They are hopefully taking down all of our fence so we get some parking back. Fingers crossed. Alright, I'll grab right here as well. I grab this side. Second coat is always my favorite because it goes on so much faster. So this time I'm kind of just working on both sides as I'm going around, because really we're just looking to cover the brush strokes and that kind of stuff. And because we're using such little paint, I'll probably use almost everything in the cap of my paint. There's not really, I feel like, a color that I'm going to need a lot of. Okay. I think I got there, but I'll do that one more time. And then I'm going to go up here and we'll grab the yellow up here. That second coat. Alright. Done. Okay, next color we're going to have is our orange here. Okay. I'll get this one right here. I have this guy. This is pumpkin orange. The oranges with sugar skulls and stuff like that, I always think of like marigolds and stuff like that, since they use those. Okay, come over here. Alright. And this orange has pretty good coverage. We might be able to get away with a lot of spots with one. I'll just kind of have to see how that works. Okay, so I'm going to go right here with our next color. Right next to our yellow. And remember, even if your points aren't completely great, when you do your black highlighting or outlining, a lot of that will get covered up. So just try and stay in your lines as much as you can. But if you need the points and stuff like that, work with that more with doing your outlining. It will work. And give you that same effect. Okay, just smoothing it right here. There we go. Alexa, stop. All right. So I'm just going to go around our teeth here real quick. Okay, getting the bottom. Alright. Okay, girls, start picking up. Alrighty. Riley, come on.
I have all my stuff on the car. I'm not ready to sit.
Okay. Alright. And this arch right here. Okay. And then I'm also going to grip this little swoopy right here. Take this little curl here, just like that. Okay, and then on this side.
Facebook dinner dirty.
Okay,
Like the video.
so just like that, we are done with the orange. And I'm gonna pause this right now. I'll see you guys after our doctor's appointment. So I'll see you guys soon. Okay guys, so I actually ended up doing a second coat on the orange, and it's another day because, oh my goodness, what a day. So while I was at the doctor's office, my neighbor called me and told me that the Amazon driver ran through my garage. Yes, ran through my garage. So then during that episode, we ended up getting a really bad storm, tornado watch, all of that kind of stuff. And I ended up having to deal with that. And then we had no power here at the shop. And so needless to say, it has been a day, or it was a day yesterday. So I'm in hopes that today will be better. We already had somebody come out and look at the garage. It's gonna be quite a bit to fix, but you know, the driver ran away, so we are dealing with that and trying to go through claims with Amazon. So fingers crossed everything goes well, because you know, it's life here, so it's what we do, right? Alright guys, so next thing that I'm going to do is we're going to go with our fuchsia pink here. Let me think. Alright, we're gonna go with our fuchsia up here at the top. Or actually, I take that back. I'm gonna do the fuchsias here. Just kind of looking at how I originally colored my demo that I drew up. So remember with skull candies usually, or skull candy, sugar skulls, what you do on one side you'll do on the other, kind of like that butterfly effect. with the butterfly. One side, you know, they'll always be mimic of each other. So I am just getting this one nice and done here. Okay, so I've got the fuchsia here. Double check again. I'm gonna then go into doing our flowers here. And that gray, or the blue that we put, the seafoam, sorry, so blue-green that we put for the skull to kind of shade it, that will still show in with the fuchsia, not as prominent as how the yellow and some of the oranges had shown through, but it will still show. So it will give that shading without really having to do shading. And I could have totally went to a bigger brush on this, but because we're going back and forth with little to big, I just kind of stayed with this one. Okay, I like to turn down by 1. Sorry if I just set your A's off. I like to turn down by 1. There we go. Alrighty. I'm gonna go right here, getting that arch. I'm gonna go right here, get our edge here as well. Okay. And paint this in, smoothing outer paint as we're doing so. I feel like my Alexa went louder. Alexa, turn down by 1. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm just smoothing out our arch. Going here, doing the exact same. So doing our arch here as well, and then I'm just going to pull down my paint. Alright. Alright. I'm going to go right through here, smoothing this out as well. And like I said, just smoothing out just a little bit more. I'm going to grab right here. Grabbing my edge here. And right there. Okay, perfect. Alright. Oh, hold on just a sec. Hi, how's it going?
I see you sitting here.
Yes, I paint.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. I thought I was recording. So I added a little bit of the pink to these cheeks right here, and we're adding down here. Luckily, I caught it before going too far in. Wait a minute, there's an error here. Okay, so I'm just adding right in here. I'm gonna smooth this out. There we go. And then I'm gonna come right through here. Okay. Gonna go right through here. Bringing this down, just smoothing out as we go. Okay. And then here we're going to do the opposite, or the mirrored version of it. On this side of his chin. Okay. We'll go right here, get our little bow. Okay. Smoothing out. Okay. Bring there. Okay. I'm going to grab my paint here and smooth this out again. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to go here, grab again. There we go. Get that to smooth out there. Alright, smoothing out there. Perfect. And then I am also going to take the back of my brush. We've got some dots right here, so I'm going to get these. Actually, I'm going to probably just use this one because this is a little bit bigger on the back. Okay. Okay. Grabbing here. And one more right here. There we go. Next side. Whenever I'm doing dots, I love using my brush to get it. We had a lot of paint on them. Might try and stick some of that. That one got a little big there. Okay, so we got our dots here. And then I'm gonna also grab and do our dots right up here as well. That one got a little out of control too, but it's okay. We'll get it, we'll have it work. Okay. Three more, well, two more, I guess. Okay, and our last dot right here. Okay, perfect. All right. So fuchsia is done. I'm going to go ahead and just use our red here. This is called opaque red. Must have been my bullets. Okay. And that is going to be our two flowers on the inside here we're going to do. So we'll get these first. Now remember, when we're painting with red, it will be blotchy. So you're really just looking for a really good coat of coverage, that first one, and then that second coat will make things look better. Try not to over paint too much with it, because all you're going to do is just keep pulling your paint. So paint in sections and then just kind of smooth out and let it go. Brush had a lot of paint on the edge there, so I was trying to avoid getting too much of a clump of paint on the edge. Okay, so I'm just bringing my paint down. Going to my next one here. Okay. Trying to make sure I'm careful of these dots here too. My hand doesn't get in there. Okay. And then we're going to come right here, grab in there. Okay. Okay. Okay, going right through here, grabbing these ones. There we go. Okay. Alright, just cleaning that up. Perfect. Okay. We're going to come over and do our other eye here. There we go. Right here. Okay, and then I'm just smoothing out. So remember, like I always say, it's kind of like when you're coloring when you were younger in the coloring book, where you colored your edges first and got those all pretty, and then in the middle you can scribble and blend it all in, right? Same thing. I told you, a lot of swoops when we're painting this one. There's a lot of loops and curls with your paintbrush. Okay. Right through here again. Okay. And I'm just smoothing that back out. Perfect. We're going to go here. Okay. Oops. But I got some paint. Luckily, not a big mess. Okay. And one more here. Let's see if I can change my hand placement. Alright. Okay. So we got our flowers here. I'm going to go into here. And I'm going to go here. We're going to grab this one on our cheek here. And that one up. And then we're gonna go, probably should have done this one first, but I'm gonna go right here and swoop here. Oops. There we go. Swoop out there. Okay. There we go. There we go. Clean that up. Okay. On this side, same thing. Just mirrored. Okay. Our edges here where they meet. Okay, just cleaning up extra paint there. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go right here. This guy. Alright. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to go right here. This one is a very thin little spot here where they touch. So if you wanted to, you could probably do a detail brush for this part too. Since it is so thin, I'm just kind of patting with the angle brush and pulling it my paint. And that's kind of how I get away with not having to go into using a detail or a smaller brush. Okay. Around my brush here. And pulling up our line there. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to come back up here. And we're going to get right here with some red. Oops. Hopefully no smears. I'm looking out with myself today. And placement. Make sure you're watching. Don't be like me. Okay. There we go. We got that one all cleaned up there. Alright, so now I'm going to go down because my flowers should be nice and dry now. So we're going to go and do a second coat on these guys. And I'll bring this up to the camera so you can see again how that second coat just really makes a difference when it comes to red. And how blotchy it does look, and then how much nicer it looks after you get that second coat on. So you just gotta let it roll, let it dry. Otherwise, you will have a big pain in the butt going on. And then while my hand's right here, it's just easier. Grab right here and get this. Here. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Clean that up. Alright, cleaning that up. There we go. So that eye is done. This one is not. So you can see the blotchiness of that one versus that one. See how much better those look? There we go. Perfect. And our little chin part here. Okay. We're going to go up here at the top of this. Okay. Red is done. That was the opaque red that I used. Kind of has like a pink to it. Alright. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in with our green. Okay, so green is a lot of leaves. So still a lot of curves. Green is also going to be one that we're going to need to do 2 coats on. Kind of like our red. Right here. Okay. There's that. Okay. Yeah, lots of curves. A lot of practice with curving and everything else. Doing lots of arches with your paintbrush in this one. Okay. I'm gonna go here. There. Alright, next one right here. Then we'll go over and mimic the other side. Okay. And then, like I said, we're painting through the shadow again. So like I had said earlier, it will still show that shading. Even with it being a little bit of a darker color, we'll still pull that. Okay, I'm gonna get my edge here. And then this is, like I said, the color is called just green. Nothing special name with this one, just green. Okay, so we're gonna come over here. We're gonna start with this leaf here. I'm starting with this one because this one's kind of like the furthest one out. For our hand. Okay. Here. Arching. Here. The sky right here. Arching. And then we're going to take this and bring that back in so our lines meet. Smoothing that one out. Got another one right here. We're working on. Okay. Okay. There. Alright, and up here. There we go. Smoothing that one out. Okay, once more, we're going to come over here. Okay. Over here. Smoothing that out, and there we go. Okay, I got those ones done. I'm gonna work down here now, bringing in these leaves. Smoothing out our leaf. Okay. Gonna grab up here, getting our edge. Okay. I'm gonna now go down into our cheeks here. Okay, we're gonna go here, and then we'll meet here. There we go. Grabbing our other leaf here. Okay. Okay, so there is more green down here, but they're more vines, so I'm going to change my brush for that. So I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to get a second coat on our leaves that we painted before switching over to a smaller brush here. And because it's such a thin amount, you usually do not have to do a second coat when you're just doing like a line. Okay. Same here. Okay. There's that one. Right here. This leaf. Okay. And further down, look at this one. Okay. Good. Some more of that green here. For the most part, I try to stick with how I painted it the first time so that I know that it should be probably dry by the time I get back to it for that second coat. And those ones are looking pretty good. Let's do this one first. Okay. Alright, let me get to a detail brush here. This is, nope, a little bit bigger than that. This is a 0 spotter brush. I'm gonna have to just pour a little bit of some paint, more paint in my lid here, but I got a little bit of a goober in here that I wanted to get out. And we're pouring more in. Okay. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. Hand placement here. We're gonna probably go up like this. I'm gonna be probably dipping a lot more with my paint because I want my line to be thick so I don't have to come back for that second coat. So we are doing a little bit thicker of a line. Okay. I'm working on smoothing as well. While I'm doing this, making sure that our leaves all get included where they need to into my line. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to snag this one up here. Okay. And I'm going to come back this way to match and to catch up with it. And then we'll bring it back down. Okay, we're going to come up to this flower here, grabbing this one here. And I typically, when I'm doing line work and stuff like that, I like to paint towards me. I feel like I just have better control, but I know others like to paint away. So it's all on how you want to do it. What feels more comfortable for you? Okay. That one's done. Oh, actually, I lied. I did not catch this part. There we go. Okay. We're going to mimic over on this side next. There we go. So just remember what feels good for your wrist, you know, and everything else, because otherwise your line will get, it won't look right. It will look more flow, it won't flow as well. It'll look like you struggled through it. So hand placement is key when you're doing lines. Okay. Just right there. Perfect. Okay. So those lines are done. And it's coming together so prettily. Ooh, excited. Okay. So I do got some lines right here that we're gonna do. Hand is starting to pull a little bit. There we go. We are getting there. Alrighty. Okay. And these lines down. Okay. Line that one up, just like so. Through here. Okay. Take it and go this way just a little more. There we go. Okay. So all of our green is done. Now there's a scooter. Okay, so now I've got our turquoise. Alright, turquoise. There we go. First part, I'm going to actually use a big brush for because we are painting this nose finally. And basically this is just a really elongated heart. Where you look at schools, that's kind of how they all look. We're gonna go right here, arching, clean that up just a little, there we go. Okay, and this turquoise usually one and done with. It has pretty good coverage. Okay, just smoothing out my paint there, perfect. Before I go back to cleansing to my smaller brush, there. Okay, and then I'm gonna go, well, I guess just work down here since we're already down here, and we'll work our way up to the top. So I'm gonna go here. Okay. I'm gonna go right here. Cleaning that up. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go here, get this side. Okay. Bring that down. There we go. Smooth out my line right there. Perfect. Okay. And then right here, we're gonna get our till here. Up our lines here. Okay. This way. There we go. Smoothing out my paint. Just arching that. Smoothing out my paint again here. Okay. Alright. And just a little more. There. here. There we go. Same thing here. Okay. Just arching this. Okay. There. I forgot to do the edge with pink. Oops. Guess we'll have to come back and fix that later. Okay. Let's clean up right here. Go. Perfect. Okay, we got those sides. We're gonna come up here. There isn't too much painting wise. There's gonna be some dots with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and grab right here. Okay, turquoise is done. Besides doing some dotting. Just cleaning out my brush here, and then I will do the dots. Okay, our dotting, we're gonna go right here. Adding a couple here. And we got right here, and then we're done with our turquoise. Okay. Isn't it so cool? I love how the sugar balls come from just like this white blob to like how cool. Okay, our next color is called Lake. It's our blue that we got going on. Okay. We are going to do our eyes here, around our eyes, so there's a lot of arching with this one as well. This particularly blue usually is one and done. Now some blues especially when you start going darker, you're going to want to do 2 coats, okay? Right now I'm just working on getting my arches done here. And then I'm going to come back and we'll do the out or the inner part. This kind of reminds me of like lace, like the Hispanic lace that they have. Alright, I'm going to stop right here and do this side and clean up as I go my paint. Okay. Clean up. Smoothing out as I go. Okay. Oops. I got a little bit of some blue here, but I think we'll be able to hide that. So if not, I'll grab a baby wipe here in a second. Go right through here, getting my arch here. Grabbing our loops here. Hi! Let me stop my recording. Hold on just one sec. Okay, sorry you guys, I had a bunch of people come in. Okay, so we got the one eye done. We're gonna start on our other eye over here. Same thing, just going through, getting our arch. Just really, when I'm doing these, I'm just kind of concentrating on getting the arch going, having nice pretty lines through it. There we go. And then I'm going to come back and we'll clean up this side before going around and doing the other parts, just to kind of help with our hand placement, that kind of stuff, okay? So just getting my brush nice and loaded. And then we're going to come back, kind of get the leftover paint. I'm doing the arches, kind of smooth those out. same thing again, just kind of getting our curves. Fix this little arch here. There we go. All right. Grab a little more here. Okay. Then right here, I'm going to get our part of our eye. Smooth those in. Okay. And smoothing out our paint. Getting our arches here. Okay. And I'm gonna grab right here. Okay. Then I'm going to take right here, I'm going to grab right around, clean up as I go. Alright. Oops, sirens. Alright, cleaning that one. And this one. There we go. Okay, so we got our blue on our eyes done here. And then I'm going to go in and we're going to get right here. So I'm just using the back of my brush, keeping, or I shouldn't say the back, the point of my brush to get that smoother area right there. Now I'm kind of coming out and working on the curve since it's a little bit wider here. Okay. And then just working on our arch here. There we go. A little bit of cleanup right there. Okay. And we're going to go on to do this part right here. Okay, just a touch more. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go over and do this side. Okay. Yeah, watching my placement here. A lot of arches, like I said. Okay, and we've got this one here, and then we double check myself. Oh, we got this little guy right here, and then I believe we are done with the blue. Or actually, there's one more spot. Okay, so we got here. I'm gonna go right here. Right here. Smoothing that out. Okay. Okay. We got there. There's our purple. Okay. Trying to think here. I think I'm gonna go ahead. I feel like we need a little blue up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do blue here. I had this originally as purple, but I'm thinking I want just a little bit more blue up here. So we're gonna go with this blue here. And then the last will be our purple. Okay. Cleaning that up just a touch. All right. Right here. Cleaning that. Okay. Okay. Okay, just cleaning up this side just a touch. Okay. Alright, getting right here. Get just a little bit more paint. Okay, and right there. There we go. Okay. Perfect. So that was our lake blue. Next color is going to be our pansy purple. Oh goodness, maybe. There we go. Okay, pansy purple. There we go. Okay. We're gonna go right here. We'll do our little diamond here. Now we will probably have to do 2 coats. So just being prepared. Okay. Got that one. This one, we get the little swirl here. Okay. Let me get my brush. There we go. And that curve. Okay, coming this way. Alright. Getting that to clean up back that way. Perfect. So we got that side. And then let's get this side. We've got a lot of dots. This purple as well. meeting there. Matching our little curve here. And pulling that way. There we go. So there's the bear. And getting here. There we go. Okay, and painting that one. Perfect. So we got those, we got that one. We're gonna come up here and do these. Making sure my glue is dry. Okay, getting that edge there. And this side. There we go, clean that up. Okay. I've got this one. Okay. Here. Alright. Okay. So we got that. And then we're going to go into our dots here. We've got our purple one. Big purple one here. Okay. We've got a couple down here by our eye. And while I'm right here, this is pretty dry, so I'm gonna do a quick touch up here. And here. Grab this guy too. Okay. And then I'm going to get around our eye over here. Kind of like the eyebrow. Okay. Go right here, getting this one. Okay, and this one. There. Isn't that turning out so fun? Ooh, I love. Okay. Let me touch this up here. Okay. Grab our dots here. Okay. Here. And we got one more here. Okay. Gonna go right down here, grabbing ones by our nose. Maybe. Okay. Okay, and right here. Okay. And then, let's see, got that one. All right. Oh, I forgot to touch up this side. I think I forgot one of the little swoops. There we go. What is that this side? Well, I guess one might get a little extra coverage. Just see a little spot right there. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna come back with one of our colors that we already put away, just because we need to add just a titch more. And we're gonna use actually our orange. And the reason why I didn't do this ahead of time was because we had to put the blue down. So we're just gonna go right here, adding our orange. And I'm just using my dotting tool, or embossing tool is another word that they call these. Okay, I got this one from the dollar store. It's my favorite. Between my brushes and this one. Okay. Ooh. Clump there. Okay. Trying to be careful with my purple dots here. Okay. There we go. Alright, almost done. Okay. And then we have a lot of detail lines. Ooh, goodness. We got a clump of paint there. Almost there. And our last one. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna grab my honeycomb here. Put some paint in. Okay. Alright guys. Okay, doing my detailing. I'm going to kind of go right by our nose, but I'm going to try and be as careful as I can. Okay. And then typically I water down my black, but this black that I bought was very watered down anyways, so no need. I'm going to do a little zigzag right here. Trying to be careful of our dots. Okay. I'm just going to touch this up. I had a little bit of brush drag there and right here as well. Okay. Just going over our T. A lot of Mickey D arches here. And where they're yellow, it looks like even more where it reminds me of the Mickey D arches. The golden arches, right? And even though we're not, it doesn't feel like we're painting a lot of surface, we are. So make sure that you're remembering to re-dip your paintbrush often. Okay. And then I'm going to be doing a lot of C's through here and letting these flow all the way through. Just makes for the teeth to be a lot more fluid. Okay. Oh, and I should have told you, I'm just using that zero spotter brush again that I used earlier for the vines. Okay. Here we go. This one we're going to just go straight down here. Okay. And then these are just little loops through. On that side. Just changing my hand placement so it just feels a little bit better. For this side, the teeth kind of curve a different way now on this side. Grab these guys. I'm going to do a little zigzag here and then let some more arches come through here. lot of outlining is going to happen with this sugar skull. Alright, we're going to do our little diamond here. Okay, now we're going to start getting into our swirls. Hi, welcome. Hey, cutie. Hold on just one second. Okay, guys, I am so sorry. We had customers come in, so let me put that down. There we go. So, I did just a little bit more outlining while they were in, but not too much more. So we are just going back in, adding our lines here. Okay. Grab our leaf here. Alright. Alrighty. And I'm going to go right in. Okay. Okay. We're gonna go here. So if you do start feeling your paintbrush kind of getting too thick of lines, one of the secrets is the brush has probably got too much paint in it and it's clumped itself up, which means like dried in there. So go ahead and rinse out your brush. It will help make those lines go a little bit thinner if that's what you're wanting, or you're feeling like it's not spreading as well. Clean out your brush and start again. Okay. And most of our polka dots here have dried now. I'm going to go ahead and get my eyes. I'm going to stop right here real quick. And we're going to get a little circle here and here. Okay. And there we go. Grab here. Alright. Okay. And here. Okay. And we got here. Okay. go. Alright. I just realized I probably should have done the flower first. I'm gonna do a little zigzag there, bring that line there. Alright, let's see what we can get accomplished with this flower. Trying not to get my hand in it. I might have to wait for it to dry. There we go. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go here. Okay. We're gonna go this way. There we go. Doesn't liking how that line went. There we go. Alright. Okay. Get that paint a little bit more. We had some brush drag. Alright. That eye. Okay. Alright, I didn't know if I was going to do the dots, but I'm feeling like we need to outline them. Okay. Alright. We're going to get our eyebrow here. We'll see how it looks without doing the orange ones inside the eye. And we'll go right here. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna probably go to about here. There we go. We'll get our leaf here. Okay. Okay. do, actually I was thinking about doing a zigzag, but I think I'm gonna skip that on here. Okay, so we've got line, 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 line. We'll go here and here. Here we go. Okay. And then we're going to do our leaves. And a leaf here. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to go right here with our little vine. This kind of helps tighten the leaves. Okay. All right. Go right through here. There we go. Okay. And I'm gonna go there. Okay. And there. Okay. We'll get our diamond here. Grab a little zigzag there. Okay. And grab them right here. All right. Okay. Grabbing this side. And then we go here. Alright. Right there. And here. Touch that up. We got our our center one. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna get these little guys. Let's get our edge up here. Okay. 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 To this guy next. Okay. And then here, I'm gonna take our leaf, bring that up. Okay. Alright. Okay. Bring our little dot here. And doing our outline. This leaf. Okay. There. Get our dot here. Let's get that line. There. And there. Put that there. And going around here. Okay. Go just here. Do our little dot around here. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna grab a little line there. Perfect. Alright. Go into the flower. Okay. And our circle here. And our lines. Okay. 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 And there. Okay. Alright, we're going to stop right there with the skull for a minute. I'm going to grab these dots. do the outer arches of these ones on the outer side, and then we'll do the flower. Hopefully that will work a little bit better than how it was before. So we can have somewhere to kind of rest our hands. I'm gonna grab this little dot here since I'm right here. Same with this one. And this one. Come back and do these guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna grab right through here. And I did my little zigzag right there, so before I forget, I'll do that. Okay, so then I'm gonna do my arches here, my through arches on my petals. I get those here. Okay, and then we're gonna go in with the petals. Okay, I'm gonna get the center here so I know how far my petal line should go. Okay. This one too. Okay, grab this side too. And then we're going to grab our lines here. Here. Okay. I'm going to grab here and here. Perfect. Okay. We're out in here. Grab just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. And then we'll go back into doing our arches. Yep, that was a lot easier. A lot easier on our hands. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to go right here. This is going to kind of go down our cheek there. There we go. Grabbing those lines, and I'll finish out my right there. Hey cutie, what's up? Already used all of it?
No, I used some of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, fun. Okay, well, I'm just recording, so let me know if you need anything. Okay, so we got here. Okay, so I'm just arching this
Is there
around.
any way you can make the water bottles just a little bit lower so I
Honey,
can get
it's
one
not
for
my.
school?
I'm sorry, sweetheart. It's not my price.
Oh, okay.
It's up to my vendor.
Oh.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. Okay, you guys, I am so sorry. Customers again coming in. I am going to just do a little bit of highlighting here, just on a few little spots, just to kind of bring our skeleton, our sugar skull, more to life. We're gonna just kind of do our eyes here. Okay. I did finish outlining, but I figured you guys were okay with it. There's a lot of outlining, so. Okay. Alrighty. I grab this little zigzag there. And I thought where the orange was, it might be fun to add our glitter there. I'm just doing little swooshes through here just to kind of add a little, get the little zigzag there. There we go. Just doing a little bit of making the arches of the mouth kind of shine a little bit. There. Go into this, just a little, the little dots there will kind of get, they kind of are like berries. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit more white for the zigzag there. Getting those little berries here. There. Gonna get this little zigzag here. Okay. Zigzag there. 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 There and there. Okay. We're gonna go here. There. I'm gonna do a little zigzag there. Go here. Look at our eyes. Our flower eyes here. Okay. Okay, doing the arches here first. And then kind of coming around. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go right here with our diamonds. Our little dots. There we go. I'm gonna touch up just a little bit where that paint smeared was. Okay. We're gonna arch these dots here. And then we'll go right here. Just grabbing these leaves. Okay. There. And then we'll grab our flowers. Okay. Same thing, kind of just going over our lines there. Where our leaves are, kind of doing, accentuating the curves. of the leaves. Okay. I'm gonna go here. And then this one, I'm gonna kind of do both sides. Okay. We'll do just little arches, little swooshes on our pink dots here. Okay. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna grab right here. I'm gonna do our little zigzag there and there. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Those are all done. Alright, we went all the way around. I'm gonna go grab some glitter here. Just trying to see if Lori had an orange that I knew of. The only one that Lori has of orange is Aloha, but it's more of a coral. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. This one came from Walmart. It is their neon orange. And then I'm going to grab a glitter paper. Oh, okay. And we will then call it done. Grab my Mod Podge here. Oh gosh. Okay. And I'm gonna just grab our dots. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. And we're gonna shake that on there. Okay. Okay. Oh, that looks so cool. Yay! Okay. Alright. Other side. Okay. Take the glitter that I have here. Heavily pour. Okay. over to this one little dot that didn't get as much. There we go. Alright, let me flip my camera here. Alright guys. Ah, look at roaches! I'm so excited with how this turned out. You can see the glitter there. Alright you guys, you have a wonderful day. And I will see y'all later. Thanks so much for being patient with me through the crazy Monday that I had. So I'll see y'all later. Bye guys.